Welcome back to the Plays with Cars YouTube channel and another episode of Project Mazda. Doing some maintenance on the daily today, getting ready to do oil change on it, a couple other things. But one thing I've been noticing is a really bizarre ride and noises and stuff, and so I'm checking wheel bearings, and it does seem like that wheel bearing really doesn't want to go. The brakes are doing all right. They're brand new. These are Hawk HP 5.0. I think they're version 2 or something like that now. But it's the old HP Street. They kind of split them out into two. They have a regular HP Street that's more just like for looks, and then they have an HP 5.0. Which is the like autocross type setup, which is what this has. So the drilled and slotted zinc-coated rotors and the Hawk HP 5.0 pads, all from Hawk. And those are fairly new. They've only got about 5,000 miles on them, and they're not hanging up or anything. And the stupid slidey caliper seems to be working great. I've got good pad wear on both sides, but it does seem to kind of drag a bit. But the thing that really gets me is, if you look up here, and I'm trying to get the lighting on this, okay, so watch right here really carefully. See the tread kind of go up and down? So like right here, this tread block is raised higher than the one next to it. See, that one's level and that one's raised. I've got some really weird wear patterns going on here. Look, you can see completely worn away already, like way too much negative camber in the back, which shouldn't happen. This thing was just aligned. You see here on the suspension, we've got the H&R Sport Springs, and those are the KYB. The rears are the gas adjust, the fronts are the GR2s. And then that is the SPC camber arm, that kind of bow-shaped thing. And it's got a lock nut, which you can see just on the other side of the shock there, which locks it in, and everything seems to be tight. So I don't know why this particular side has a problem, because if I bring you over to the other side, I can show you that. Look, it just has regular wear on the back on this one, and it's the exact same setup. Like, there's the SPC arm up in there, there's H&R spring. Like, you can see our alignment bolt is set at just about the same, and of course those don't do camber. Camber can only be done with those arms, which is why we have them. So I don't know if I've got an unknown problem on this side of the car or what, but yeah, that's like super concerning that my tread looks like that already, because these tires have maybe not even 10,000 miles on them yet, and it's already trashed. This row has different block heights too. Like, look at that. That is so much different. Huh. Well, so yeah, I got some investigating to do here on ye old Project Mazda, but that's what we're doing today. Got all the other project cars are sitting out there, and the garage is empty right now, so we can get a bunch of work done on this. So I'm going to go get to work and see if I can't figure out what's going on with that and bring an update when this is all over and done with. Okay, so I figured it out. This is the SPC upper control arm, the forged metal piece. See here on the end, it's got a couple of, come on lighting, there we go. It's got a couple of lock nuts and a threaded rod. What happened is this nut down there on the bottom side had come loose, allowing the threaded rod to move, and then also the lock nuts here were not, come on lighting, the lock nuts were not locked to each other anymore. So I loosened everything up and I backed this back out, the length on it, to get it back to where it wouldn't where it kind of like matched the other side. And then I locked the two nuts together and I locked the bottom one back down. It still doesn't seem right though, because the other one has these all the way inside, But for some reason, the big nut on this one is like frozen to the rod. So I think what I might have is an SPC arm that's actually gone bad, which is surprising. But these do have a lifetime warranty on them. So I'm going to run it and see what happens. And if that sucks back in to where this gap disappears again and this is touching this again, then I know I've got something going wrong here, and I'll have my suspension shop change that. But for now, I can put the wheel back on and see what my camber is like and see if it matches the other side and it's more straight up and down, or if it still has the extreme negative lean that it did before. So yeah, I got that going on. And by the way, tech tip, if you want to run 18x9s on a Mazda 5, don't. It's not actually touching the shock at all, but it definitely rubs through the little dust boot hat here thingy. So yeah, just, word of the wise. And this is also with rolled fenders, and I don't know how good the lighting is, but you can see the rolling on the fenders all the way. So yeah, that's what you got to do if you're gonna extreme lower a Mazda minivan. Anyways, yeah, that's the update for now. And we're back. So I don't normally cut multiple takes or days together for these videos because my editing software is like a freebie on the internet, and my computer's not really good at this stuff because it's like 11 years old and not really designed for it. But anyways, so that's why I try to keep these like short unedited videos. Plus it's kind of like a little bit more real. But this was just a little complicated with the 5 and the suspension things going on. So I wanted to show you, it's been a couple days now, and I've hit like every gnarly pothole I could find and like driven it on the freeway and stuff like that. And it seems to be holding. Like if you see the relation of the tire, the camber, which is the angle this way, to the car, to the other side, which I haven't touched, it seems to be about the same, and it seems to be holding steady. If you remember when I first showed you the tire, the top end was tilted in really a lot because that suspension arm piece I showed you had come loose. So I went in there and fixed it and tightened everything back up, and it seems to be holding just fine. As far as the wheel hubs go, I can't tell if it's the hubs or these calipers. So these are the OE calipers. They've got 110,000 miles on them now. And they seem to be all right when I took them all apart. But these are the screwy ones that have literally a piston in there that screws as it goes in and out. Those really annoying Ford designed ones. And this side went together, like went back in pretty well. The other side, like, it took a little bit more force than really I would like. So I can't tell. Like, I just pulled in from a drive, and they're not like warm to the touch or anything, so I don't think they're hanging up, and I don't think the rotor is getting hung up on or anything. So I don't know, maybe it just really does need wheel bearings. So but yeah, it's holding for now. I've done the 110,000 mile tune up on it. Within the last 2,000 miles it's gotten the oil change and filter, the transmission fluid. I changed the filter and changed like half the fluid in the transmission. Put the new tires on it just a couple months ago. Like ran a half a bottle of seafoam through it, and I changed the cabin air filter. A couple of little random things like that. Like it doesn't seem to be having any problems. There's no check engine light or anything like that. But it kind of needs some work now. Like the gas mileage is kind of falling off. I'm down to about 22 when I was getting like 25, 26, which is making me think those wheel bearings are dragging. And then also like the suspension has got clunks in it. The passenger front strut I don't think was put together correctly by the shop I had do it. When I had everything up in the air, you could actually grab the spring here within the strut and move it, and you can't do that on the other side, and you shouldn't be able to do that on a max strut car. So it's not seated in there properly. It clunks like crazy. It drives me nuts. And I honestly, and I take this, I am a huge KYB fan. I've had many cars with KYBs on them. I've raced with KYBs. I had them on my first gen FBRX7 when I won an SCCA championship with those, a regional one. I've had KYBs on Mustangs before. I've had their truck shocks and stuff, like on things like the Bronco. I don't know what's on there right now, but I've used lots of KYBs. I've always liked them for the money. They're never like the best thing you could put on a car, but for the money, I've always been happy with them. The fronts are just the Excel Gs, because that's the only thing they can do on a Max strut is the monotube, and they don't have really any compression in them at all. Like, I feel like anytime I hit a bump, the nose of the car just which could be being put together incorrectly, but I feel like they just aren't there. And then on the rears, I did put the upgraded ones, the gas adjusts, which are the, maybe those are the monotubes. Those are twin tubes, these are monotubes. So I put the next step up on the back, because they do make them for the back, and they're supposed to be a little stiffer and stuff, and you can see it does sit like a little higher in the back. And when you load it down, it tends to take the load okay, but it just, like, you know, I had to roll the fenders to fit 18 by 9s. Like, it just, I don't know, they don't seem, they're just not making me very happy, like, compared to the performance of the rest of the car. So I'm thinking about swapping to coilovers all the way around on it. Like Godspeed makes some, BC makes some, but really Cork Sport, which is local to me, makes a set for Mazda 3 wagons. And the only difference is you should put a little bit higher spring rate in the back for a 5. So I've been kind of talking with them about, hey, can we make like a set for the 5 with that higher spring rate in the back, and I'll try them out. So we'll see if that happens, or if I just put a set of off-the-shelf Mazda 3 parts on here, but that might be where I'm going with this in the future, because this suspension's not making me happy at all. I've honestly never been happy with this setup, so I want to change that. When these tires wear out, I'm not all that happy with them either, so I'm going to change those. Basically, there's a lot of changes coming for the 5, because it is my true daily. You can see it's got double car seats in the back. Like, it's all this thing does is the kid run stuff and to work and just all of that jazz. So I need it to be reliable, and I need it to be comfortable, and I'm not feeling the love right now, and so I'm gonna change it up on that. But that's where we're at. I did do all of the maintenance on it. I have followed all the factory maintenance stuff. It doesn't actually need anything. Like I said, I expect a really high standard for my cars, and the 5 normally delivers it in spades, and I just feel like the age is starting to take its toll. I've had this thing for 3 years now, so, and it's my second 5. I had a different one for about 3 years before this one, so yeah, I think it's time to maybe do some changes and put some love into the 5, so, but you guys have seen what's in there now. I'm going to keep an eye on this left rear. If it ever gives me any trouble again, I'm going to have a shop replace that SPC arm completely with their lifetime warranty, and because that'll be the 3rd failure, and go from there. The right side is the exact same part, holding just fine. But yeah, we'll keep those arms, we'll keep the brakes. I might even keep the wheels, maybe just powder coat them, change the color. But definitely want to change up on the tires. Really want to change up on the suspension setup. But that's what's going on with the 5. I really wanted you guys to. I wanted to like make this into a whole video thing, because I did 3 clips. So yeah, let me know how you like that style versus like doing those really short clips. And we'll see like which way I keep going with on the channel. So until next time, that's been Project 5.